Hey guys, welcome back to Toops Time. Today we're going to be giving you a 4-month update on how it's been here on our homestead raising St. Croix sheep, so stay tuned. So if you guys have not seen our 1-month update, I'm going to link it right there up above me, and I want you to go ahead and watch that before you watch this one to see the progress that we've made. So let's go ahead and start this video off with a question we've been getting. Do you still have your sheep? You guys haven't seen an update from us in quite some time. I figured we better go ahead and do this one because y'all are really starting to have a lot of questions for me and they're all piling up. We do still have our sheep, -1. The bad news, we did lose one of our sheep not long after that first month update. There was one sheep not long after she was here. I noticed that she was limping. Me being a newbie sheep owner, didn't know exactly why she was doing that. I assumed she twisted an ankle or something like that whenever she was coming down here from Missouri. She ended up passing. The very first thing I thought was parasites. I did not want to see parasites. I bought this breed because of their parasite resistance, but just in case, I went on ahead and got some poop samples from her and from a few of the other sheep and brought them to the vet, got them tested, and she had no parasites, or at least extremely low count, which is very normal. So that wasn't the cause. I'm thinking it ended up being lameness. She is gone. We're down to 11 ewes. They're following me right now. They see this food bucket. I didn't even have to call them. Now they just see me walking around and they immediately flock towards me. It's pretty cool. So that covers what we've lost here. What have we gained? We gained Bob. Back early December, we decided it's about time we get a ram on the property to start breeding these ladies behind me and get them pregnant so that come early spring we can start lambing out. So Bob has been hard at work and we are very excited to see how well all these girls take to him. So have these girls been difficult to raise? In short, no, and let's tell you why. So one of the first bit of maintenance you may be wondering about is hoof trimming. We have very hard ground here and it's very high ground. It stays really dry. That really helps a lot with preventing hoof rot, and this is already a hoof rot resistant breed. Their hooves trim pretty good on their own. Now our ewes, we're going to be more than likely having to trim the ewes' hooves eventually, but all of the young wethers and rams that we're going to be selling, we're obviously not going to be trying to maintain their hooves because they're going to be going to market within months after they're born, so they won't have time to even need a hoof trimming. What kind of shelter do we provide for them? Well, we take lessons from Judy, and Judy does not provide his sheep shelter. He has hundreds of them. What kind of structures would you have to build for your sheep when you have hundreds of them and you're constantly rotating them? We plan to have lots of sheep like that too, so I didn't want to just go ahead and build a small structure to house these few ladies over here whenever we plan on having as many as my property can contain. So they rely on trees. They've already had quite a few really hard freezes here and they're doing just fine. None of them have skipped the beat from it. Let's talk food. As far as food sources go, I do rotational grazing, and with the rotational grazing, they have lots of winter grasses that keep growing up here, and as I rotate them out of one paddock into another, it allows that other paddock to catch up. And I've got 5 paddocks right now that I rotate them in, and with this paddock rotation, I have not had to feed them hay at all. They've just been eating on grass and the occasional bit of alfalfa pellets like I'm feeding them right now, and all this is to let me bond with them and get close to them, let them get used to me being out here. If you're interested in how we actually trained our sheep to allow us to pet them, I'll go ahead and link that video as well. So I won't go in too much detail on that, but it still works. It has been working since the first couple weeks that we've had them. As far as water source goes, this automatic waterer right here has been working absolutely phenomenal. Looks like I'm running into a little bit of an issue during the winter because obviously this water not being a spring-fed pond like my cows have, I'm going to run into issues where I have to actually come out here and bust ice up, which is a little more maintenance than I would like to have to do, but considering they're already so low maintenance, I don't mind having to do that every now and again during the coldest parts of the winter. So we bought a breed of sheep that is supposed to be the highest parasite resistance of their kind, and that is proven true. We have had 0 parasite issues out of these sheep thus far. Again, when that first sheep passed, I got a little bit worried, and I went and ran several poop samples from different sheep, and none of them, even the one that had passed, had a high parasite count. So that is awesome news and a big plus of getting the St. Croix sheep breed. A big question that I've had that lots of you have been asking me is, does that fencing work? Short answer, yes, it works really, really well. So people were so concerned that the style of fencing that Greg Judy uses, that single strand electric, was not sufficient to hold the sheep in. If trained properly, the sheep will abide by it. Now, me being the type of person I am, and I had the extra time and my paddocks are all permanent, I figured I'm gonna go ahead and run a couple of strands. So my outer fence is either 2 strands that run up alongside a barbed wire fence, and where there is not barbed wire, as you can see here, I run 3 strands. Now, the 3 strands was not for the sheep, it was for Pippa. Pippa, whenever I picked her up from Greg Judy along with the sheep, I asked questions about Pippa because she is what I was more concerned about escaping, because she's a dog. I mean, dogs can jump 5-foot fences sometimes. So I asked them, and they said that she happened to be one of the jumpy dogs that they had. And she proved true whenever she jumped over the single wire, then she jumped over the double wire. And even after holding her down a couple times up against the double wire and letting it shock her, just to show her what that is, you know, she still would, it wasn't all the time, it was mainly just to get to me because she was happy to see me, but she would jump that double wire. Once I put the 3rd wire up, she never has crossed that 3rd wire. So that is the main reason why I ended up running 3 wires all the way around the perimeter, aside from where we have barbed wire fencing. So now that we're on the subject of Pippa, how has Pippa been here on our property? I wholeheartedly believe that our sheep are all still here because of Pippa. She raises Cain all day and all night out here whenever she senses that there's something wrong. And I believe that without her, we would not have any sheep left on our property because of predators that we have around here. The maintenance that I have whenever it comes to Pippa is pretty much limited to coming out here once a week and filling up her dog feeder. And if you're wondering about how well that works, that is a design that we got from Greg Judy as well. It works phenomenally. Sheep do not go in that dog feeder. Only Pippa can manage her way in there, and it keeps all of her dog food safe and out of the mouths of our girls. So to quickly recap on the question that I asked at the very beginning of this segment of the video, were these sheep difficult to raise? I find them to be very low maintenance. I'm sure I will have issues over the years, but in general, if you want a no relationship with your sheep and you had these sheep with this setup that I have going on here, I could just literally forget about them and come out here and slaughter them whenever I wanted to. That's a little bit of an overstatement. Obviously, I would never do that. I want a relationship with my sheep as a new shepherd, but I'm just stating that they are very low maintenance. So if you're really wanting to raise sheep and also you have lots of other responsibilities on your homestead, I would highly recommend this breed if you have other responsibilities but would still like to have sheep added to your property. So on to a couple of other questions we've had since our first sheep update. Are we going to be registering our sheep? Are they already registered? Did we buy any registered sheep? No. In short, we do not plan to register our sheep. We are raising these sheep for meat and meat only. And with the amount of sheep I plan on having, I see no reason whatsoever to register them, and I don't see it doing me any good because the meat sheep are going to be sold at the market and they could care less if they're slaughtering a registered sheep or if they're slaughtering an unregistered sheep. They care about the meat. As far as the ewes are concerned, we will be keeping every ewe that is lambed out for the foreseeable future until we get the flock size that we're wanting. But after we do cap out and have the flock size that we want, we will be selling ewes. You may be thinking, you just said that you're not worried about registering your sheep because they're all going to market. Well, I don't know if you've looked into buying sheep in a while, but registered or not registered, they bring one heck of a profit. So I am not concerned at all about registering these girls. Last question of the day, do we like raising sheep? I'll put it to you this way. We also have milk cows. If you haven't seen any of those videos, go check them out under our All About Milk Cows playlist. We had originally planned on having a big herd of milk cows, basically as many as our property could contain, and that's where all of our money would be coming from. But after having these sheep, I think that the plan has changed a little bit. We have absolutely loved having them here. They have caused us no problems. They have cost us pretty much no money other than the initial setup, and they're absolutely beautiful to have here on the property. There's just something about raising sheep that makes you feel like you're doing something from biblical times. So there's some nostalgia there, and they are going to make us a good profit. We like petting them. They're a whole lot less terrifying than a big cow. So why would you not want to raise these sheep? Well, that's it for this video, guys and gals. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was entertaining. I hope that you learned something from it. And I also hope above anything else that it encouraged you to get out there and pursue your dreams of raising your own flock of sheep. Because if I can do it, you can do it. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please, if you like this video, go ahead and comment, subscribe, and share this video. It helps us out a whole lot. See you on the next one.